And then we're going to turn it over to our Chief of Police, Joseph Cecil. We're going to have a series of videos and pictures that he's going to walk you through to explain some of the events. Any of the pictures or videos that you see, we can make available to you after the conclusion of the press conference. We'll then hear from our District Attorney, Bill Fitzpatrick, and end with our PBA President, Joseph Moran. We also have Chief Fisher from the Onondaga County Sheriff's Office present here today. If we can, as always, save all the questions for the end, that would be appreciated. And at this time, I'd like to turn it over to our mayor for his remarks. Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant. We're here today because the past week or so in the city of Syracuse has been very challenging. Of course, we all recall just last week on Martin Luther King Day when young Brexy was senselessly murdered. And you would think that that would be enough to calm things down for people, even the worst of us, to take a moment and reflect on their life and their life choices. Yet continuing throughout the week, leading right up until yesterday, we have had continuous violent incidents, including yesterday having someone fire their gun at our officers. Our officers were fired upon. I want to start by acknowledging those officers and acknowledging all of our officers and thank them for the incredibly challenging work they do every day, and to acknowledge the heroic acts and bravery that you will witness here in just a moment that took place on the West Side yesterday. Second, I want to deliver a message to the bad guys. The good guys are winning, and the good guys are going to continue to win. When you're carrying guns around the city, we're eventually going to find you, we're going to arrest you, and we're going to hold you accountable. Finally, I want to thank the community for supporting our officers and supporting keeping our neighborhoods safe. We talk a lot about the fact that we all need to work together to protect our community and our neighborhoods, and I think what you'll hear from the chief is that we've had very helpful support from the community in addressing these challenges. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Chief Cecil to tell you a little more about recent incidents.
I want to thank everyone for being here. I know some of you had questions about the incident yesterday, and certainly everybody in this room is anxious about what progress there's been in the Brexy homicide. I want to start with that then, with giving an update on the murder of young Brexy, and let you know that our homicide detectives and all our other personnel are still working around the clock on this one and have made some very good progress. As I've mentioned before, the homicide squad stacks up against any homicide squad in the entire country. We're routinely closing 85% of homicides that they have when the national average hovers around 65%. This is no exception. But make no mistake about it, Brexy and her grieving family are not just a stat to them. They're taking this one personal, and again, they've made some very good progress. As a result of the Brexy murder, we have stepped up our gun violence initiatives and blanketed hotspots around the city where gun violence is occurring. As usual, we are not doing it alone. We have our law enforcement partners, the New York State Police, Onondaga County Sheriffs, New York State Parole, and County Probation, some of which are here today on the wall behind, on the side over here to my left. The proactive work has yielded 23 illegal guns so far this year. That's an almost 100% increase since January of 2022, the same month. 8 of those guns, 8, were recovered just yesterday. Our law enforcement partners have numbers that bring this recovery rate even higher. We're hoping to have that full number for you by the end of the week. This proactive work, I want to mention, does not come without risks to the men and women in uniform who are out there doing this hard work to keep the neighborhood safe. Prime example was yesterday, around 3:30 p.m. Members of our warrant squad were spotted a pedestrian acting suspicious in the intersection of Oswego and Fabius Street and turned their vehicle around to speak to him. When the individual saw our officer turn the vehicle around, and as they began to exit their vehicles, he turned, pulled out a handgun, and opened fire on the officers, striking the police vehicle at least once. The suspect then fled on foot. Members from our warrant squad jumped from their vehicle and, along with patrol officers, blanketed the area, eventually capturing the suspect in the 500 block of Tully Street, still carrying the handgun with him. a Springfield .45 caliber handgun. He is 18-year-old Taj, it's T-A-J-H, Smith, charged with 3 counts of attempted murder in the first degree. Lieutenant Malinowski is now going to show some video narrative, and I will walk you through it on key points here. This is a video with our warrant squad pulling up with their vehicle. They've already spotted the individual, the one to the right, who was acting kind of strange, and they're pulling their vehicle back around to talk to him. He walks down that street. They stop. The other individual walks to the other side of the vehicle. At this point, they've stopped their vehicle because they're being fired upon as they're exiting. You will see in a minute a square that shows debris that just came up off the road from the shots that the individual was firing at them. That's the debris that comes up, clearly showing there were rounds being fired at them as they stepped out of the vehicle. This is the mirror on the passenger side that was hit. Again, there was a detective sitting right there. The round hit that mirror and shattered it. This is some of the debris from the mirror. And I believe there's a round there somewhere. I don't know exactly where it pointed out that we found when we did the investigation. This is another video that shows the suspect, and you will clearly show him turn, as I mentioned, and open fire on the officers. And this is just a still of that same video, showing clearly that he is firing on the officers. This is the gun that he had in his possession when we arrested him on Fabia Street. Again, right in his possession when we arrived. Officers used a lot of discretion in their apprehension of this suspect who still had the gun in his possession. So I just want to mention, so the detectives are all pretty shaken up, but they're doing well. All 3 of them are highly decorated veteran officers. One of them, this is this officer's 2nd time being fired upon. This officer has gone through this twice. So I want to also thank the community on this incident. I know last week I was mentioning how we weren't getting any tips and things about the community. In this particular instance, we had on-spot community assistance that directed us right to the suspect as he ran around these streets. And it was because of the community and their on-spot assistance that we apprehended this suspect so quickly. I want to make sure that I thank the community personally for that. The subject was clearly a danger to both the public and the police. He didn't just fire at us, but as he was running around the streets, he menaced one of the citizens as well. So he was a danger to both the police and the citizens, and we responded in partnership, community and police, by working together to apprehend him. So again, I want to personally thank the community. It was a well-done job. Also want to briefly touch on gun recoveries from yesterday to highlight the level of work that is being done in what is turning out to be a very violent January for us. Again, none of this work is done in a silo. Our law enforcement partners are right there with us. So we're going to go through, okay, so we have Corning Ave up here first. In this particular instance, yesterday around 6:30, officers working the GIVE, that's our gun violence initiative, with our law enforcement partners, responded to a shot spotter activation for, I believe, 11 shots in the 200 block of West Corning Ave. They located a house on Cannon Street that had multiple shots, had been shot multiple times. At about the same time, and again, I want to highlight this, at about the same time, 911 reported that an anonymous caller called 911 and gave them descriptions of the 3 suspects that were fleeing down the street directly after the shooting and where they were heading and what direction they were heading in. This is how we were able to apprehend them. Officers spotted these subjects matching the description that was given 911, and the foot pursuit ensued. The 3 suspects were apprehended about 3 or 4 blocks away. 2 handguns were recovered, and 3 suspects, all juveniles, were arrested for felony weapons charges. Again, thank you to the community. You came through on this one too. This is all we're asking you to do. Anonymous is fine. This pointed in the direction of for the officers right to the suspects. Took 2 guns off the street, apprehended suspects who were going to do who knows what with those guns. So thank you once again. And I'm sorry if I didn't go with, you might, yeah, okay. Okay. I want to mention the final incident yesterday. Again, 8 guns taken off the street. This one involves a suspect suspected of selling drugs. They apprehended the suspect. Folks from detectives from our Special Investigations Division apprehended him on Salt Street, right off of Salina Street there. He was carrying a loaded handgun. I believe it was a Glock when the detectives apprehended him. They then did a search warrant on his house at 1028 North State Street, where they discovered 2 more handguns, 2 long guns, and various parts, magazines, caliber ammunition. He was making other guns there, folks. He was buying over the internet parts of guns. He also had a 3D printer, which, by the way, was still printing up a gun when these officers went in there to the search warrant. He had put it on, I guess, automated, and it was printing up another gun, another ghost gun for him. The suspect, Brandon Borowski, 31 years old, was charged with multiple counts of felony weapons and drugs charges. On this particular one, I just want to encourage the public. If you know of a drug house, if you know of a house where guns are being sold, where people are, where guns are being passed around, let us know. Do it anonymously. We don't need your name. This investigation right here came from another community member that mentioned this house had some activity that didn't look quite right. This is the type of information we need. This is how we make the community safer. I want to mention the officers who go out there every day and risk their lives, as we saw yesterday. They do it because this is their community too. Sometimes people don't realize that, but this is their community too. So if we work together, the officers, the police department, the community, we can make it safer. So yesterday, 8 guns were taken off the street, multiple people arrested that were planning to do harm to other individuals. It was done in complete partnership with the community, and I want to thank them for that. Thank you. And I think at this time we're going to have District Attorney Fitzpatrick up here.
Thanks, Chief. Good afternoon, everybody. The suspect's name, as the chief said, is Taj Smith. Last known address of 210 Dexter Avenue in Liverpool, New York. His date of birth is July 20th, 2004, making him 18 at the time of the alleged crime and therefore eligible for adult court. He is charged currently with 3 counts of attempted murder in the first degree. Those charges are punishable by life in prison. We're a long way from disposition. I remind everybody at this stage that he's presumed innocent despite what you just saw. He has opted to, as is his right, to remain silent. It would be only speculation on my part, though, but when the warrant officers observed him and constitutionally began to stop in an effort to question him, he perhaps at that point realized that he would have been caught in possession of that gun and then opened fire in an effort to kill these officers. The chief was gracious enough to introduce me to the 2 of the officers yesterday. One of the officers I've known for quite a while. It's a sobering experience. I can remember 6 years old seeing my father coming home in his police uniform covered in blood, and my brother and I thought it was the coolest thing we'd ever seen in our lives. It turned out not to be his blood, and we couldn't understand why our mother was over in the corner of the room crying her eyes out. And that's a lesson I learned a very, very long time ago. And in closing, let me just say that I am the luckiest DA in the state of New York. I get to work with the best sheriff's department in the state of New York. I get to work with the incredible people of Troop D, the New York State Police, and I get to work with people like Joe Cecil and the best urban police department in the state of New York. I've been embedded with these guys in this horrible, horrible few weeks that we've had, and I just can't tell you how proud I am of these men and women and how happy I am to be here talking to you about an attempted murder case as opposed to a murder case. And here's the man who's lucky enough to represent those people that I'm talking about, my friend Joe Moran. Joe?
On behalf of the Police Benevolent Association, the union that represents Syracuse police officers, I just want to describe how angry I am on behalf of my members regarding the series of events that have been described here today. We have a tragic incident, the death of an 11-year-old, caught in gunfire on the city's south side. The impact that it's had on the community, the impact that it's had on her family, the impact that it's had on our members who had to process that scene. And if that terrible incident, practically incomprehensible, wasn't enough, what occurs yesterday? Members of the Syracuse Police Department, acting in a proactive capacity, trying to enforce the law, driving around on the city's west side, a high-crime neighborhood, and a perpetrator who's so confident, so comfortable in his actions due to the lax legal justice system that we've encountered these past few years, stands on a city sidewalk and shoots at Syracuse police officers. That occurred yesterday. That's how comfortable the criminal element is. And if that wasn't enough, while myself and Chief Cecil and upper command staff and union members and police officers are working together jointly to try to assist these cops who were just fired upon, we have another incident that occurred on the south side with juveniles exchanging gunfire. And thankfully, our police department is so exceptional, despite all the obstacles and challenges in their face, we still have cops who are willing to go out and police in a proactive capacity. That was the gun violence suppression detail, a proactive unit with brand new cops out on the street, chasing these juvenile delinquents who had just fired guns on the city's south side. And they had the courage to do it. They detained those subjects. They retrieved and collected their firearms. There was so much going on in this building yesterday with our members who were fired upon, I didn't even know that that incident had occurred. I walked over to the YD division and saw a bunch of cops doing great paperwork and doing the job that they signed up to do. I shook their hands. They did exceptional work. That's just how hectic yesterday was for the members of this police department. They go out, they continue to do a great job. I really want that to be the point of emphasis from the PBA today. The members, the officers of the Syracuse Police Department are doing their job. They're making high-quality, effective arrests. And I ask others in the legal justice system to hold these perpetrators accountable and work as hard as my members are here at the PD. Thank you.
We'll open it up for questions. Just call out, you don't speak.
Chief, how hard is it to watch evidence of what your officers went through? How hard is it to see that a bullet hit a vehicle that was so close to your officer?
It's real hard. And all of you know I've been on a long time. I've watched multiple videos like this, or before we even had videos, we had individual officers being shot at. So it's it's always disheartening. Obviously, it's scary at first because you don't know whether they're safe or not. And then when you find out they're safe and you shake their hand, you're relieved. But it's never good. If someone's going to be, as Joe Moran just mentioned, so brazen as to fire at police officers, who wouldn't they fire at? So it's never a good feeling, clearly. But again, in this particular case, there was a good outcome. At least officers weren't injured, and that's always a good day.
I think the community is anxious for a resolution to the Brexy murder. Can you say if these officers were responding to that investigation to put themselves in that neighborhood, what the warrant team was doing at that point in that neighborhood? Can you give us a little more info as to why the officers they were?
Sure. So, as I mentioned, this is a partnership, and we have every one of our units works at specific agendas. The agenda right now is to work on things that may either solve this case, meaning the Brexy murder, or reduce gun violence. So they were doing one or the other. They were either going after people that had warrants related to gun violence, or they were looking to develop some information on the Brexy murder.
Are officers actively out in homes talking to people about the Brexy investigation?
Officers out there, that give detail was specifically out there looking to they're looking to reduce gun violence. But part of the agenda, of course, is this, that if they find someone with a gun, that perhaps it will be connected to the Brexy murder. It's a joint thing. We're trying both to reduce gun violence, but also to investigate this horrendous murder.
I know, Chief, you were asking for tips regarding that case. How many tips have you received since last week?
I know we've gotten more, and I know we got one. I know that we got one that was what I would say valuable, but I don't know the exact number right before you. I think what we went over today, though, that shows that the community is willing to step up. Clearly, these incidents, especially the on-site one where we're chasing a guy around that just fired at officers. People are pointing him out. He just went there. He went down there. They're calling 911, giving us descriptions. That's impressive that the community stepped up and did that. All three of these incidents, in fact, very impressive.
What behavior did your officers witness for them to want to stop this person?
Sure. So when they were pulling up to pass him, he was staring at them, eyeballing him, and then he reached for his waistband. And then as they were passing by, I believe they looked in the rearview mirror and observed that he was pretending to urinate on the street. Again, whether he's trying to show that he was doing something other than reaching for a gun, it was kind of stuff that no one would normally do. And that's when they decided to turn around.
Does this 18-year-old have a criminal history?
I believe he was involved in a shots-related incident in Liverpool. I think that's our only police's only involvement with him, but I'm not completely positive.
You mentioned the recovery of 8 guns just yesterday. Is there any frustration as much as you guys are trying to catch these ghost guns? It seems to be such an apparent issue continually. Can you describe that frustration?
It's very frustrating, and again, it's dangerous. I mean, these aren't guns that these aren't toy guns. They fire, and we have individuals behind them that will fire them, as you saw on the screen today. They will fire even at officers. So it's extremely frustrating and risky for the officers. But again, as the PBA president mentioned, these officers just continue to go out there and do the job. We have a very young force right now, which is why I'm always impressed every time we catch these individuals. Not only that they'll go out and do this proactive work, but with all this gear on, I think almost 25 pounds of gear now that they carry, they're able to chase down these juveniles that are in good shape and apprehend them. So I don't know, I kind of did a roundabout, but it's obviously very frustrating. It's dangerous for the officers. They are doing everything they can. Last year we took 266 guns off the street, which was a 24% increase from the year before. So we do, and again, it's with our law enforcement partners. We do what we can, and we'll continue to do that.
How are your 3 officers doing since?
They're doing good. I mean, they were all here last night. We were speaking with them. We gave them some time off to decompress. We've had the wellness officer. We have a full-time wellness officer now. We had him reach out to them, see how they're doing, and how their families are doing. That's just as important when they go home. As the district attorney just mentioned, when his father used to come home, it's very important for our wellness program to reach out to the families as well as the officers. So they're holding up okay.
What do you think encouraged them not to fire back?
I think that, well, the guy, keep in mind, after he fired, he took off, he fled. They're not going to fire at an individual fleeing down the street when there's other pedestrians there that could get injured. They're going to pursue, and that's what they did.
DA Fitzpatrick, could you speak to what kind of evidence you need for this to be attempted murder? The court paperwork was very descriptive about these officers, despite being plainclothes, had a patch, a badge, a vest. It said police. Does that all add to why this was perhaps attempted murder?
Well, not wishing to convict Mr. Smith too soon, if he were to argue at trial that this was merely 3 attempted murders second and not 3 attempted murder ones, I would suspect that a jury might have difficulty with that.
We have time for a couple more.
Mayor Walsh, would you describe what it's like for you to see that video?
It's hard. I go out of my way to try to engage with officers, get to know them as human beings and fathers and brothers and sisters, mothers, and so that's what I see when I see a video like that. I see somebody's family member, and I know that the officers in the back of this room and their colleagues, you know, that's what they see too, and it's you know, this past week, it's been a roller coaster of emotions, and I go from being incredibly sad to infuriated, and but when I watch that video, it's hard. But the only thing that makes me feel okay about it, well, 2 things: one, that the officers are okay, and 2, that that individual responsible was arrested. And, you know, again, when I said earlier, the good guys are winning, sometimes it doesn't feel like that. But in each one of these incidents, the person responsible has either been brought to justice or I'm confident will be brought to justice. And that's what matters. And, you know, again, my hope is that the community sees that. They see that when they are proactive and support our officers, good things happen. We get those people out of our neighborhoods. You know, that's the hope. Our officers can't do it alone, but they are doing a lot. Oftentimes, I'm sure it feels like they're doing it alone. Again, we hope that these examples show that just with a little bit of support, you know, waving somebody the right way, making an anonymous call, it can make all the difference in the world.
Steve Fitzpatrick, last week you said that you were confident that there would be an arrest made in the Brexit case within a week. We're a little past that now. What made you say that in the first place, and do you still feel confident that there will be an arrest soon?
In no particular order. I feel as confident today as I did then. And what made me say that was being made privy to what these detectives, who I refer to as the best detectives in the state of New York, were doing. So, answer your question, we're going to get justice for Brexit, I promise.
Do you think there's a heightened worry for officers on the street in light of the Brexit situation, the active investigation on the streets, perhaps gangs being connected? Is there any particular higher threat in the city of Syracuse?
Well, let me say this. Our officers get 6 months of training in the academy, which is more than what the DCGS, the state, requires. We do that for a specific reason. Because there are threats out there, because there are more guns out there. We go over and above the training that anyone else does so that they're trained when they get out there to handle any situation. And I've said this at graduations before, and I'll say it now. I've seen over the course of my career countless times this play out. An officer on his or her own for the first time gets in what we the police department would call a hairy situation. Many times now that has to do with a gun. And they fall back on their only perspective, because they never dealt with guns when they were growing up. Their only perspective is to fall back on the training they received in the academy, and they handle the situation professionally and effectively and take care of it. So are they nervous? Who wouldn't be? But they do know they're the best trained, best equipped, best officers in the entire state, I would say in the entire country, and we make sure of that. With constant training year after year after year, not just once you leave the academy and nothing more. In-service training, getting them up to date on the newest technology, the newest equipment. Whenever we see something out there that will help them in their job, we buy it. The mayor's been very good about that, whether it's body cams, the newest tasers, the training techniques with the goggles that we're training folks on now in the classroom. They are very well trained, but I would be surprised if they weren't a little nervous when you hit the street. I was.
Kids are getting NVGs?
What's that?
Are they NVGs?
They are virtual reality.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Virtual reality goggles. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all we have time for.
Thanks.
Okay, just to quickly recap right there, one man, an 18-year-old Taj Smith, last known address of Liverpool, town of Salina, under arrest, charged with 3 counts of first-degree attempted murder for firing on a group of warrant squad Syracuse police officers, 3 of them yesterday on the west side of Syracuse. He was arrested on Fabia Street. Also at this press conference, the chief of police giving an update on the shooting death of 11-year-old Brexit Ali Torres Ortiz. He simply says that his officers, his staff, and other law enforcement are working around the clock right now, and that they are, quote, making very good progress. We'll have live TV coverage on all of this beginning on News Channel 9 first at 4. Thanks for joining us.